like that in these early stages.
Paris Saint-Germain, well, their last game, they won at home against Saint-Etienne.
Yeah, 3-0, comfortable for them, and they're flying at the moment. I think they'll win again.
Team news, and this is the Caen team. Rémi Vercouttre plays in goal. Ronnie Rodelin starts. He was man of the match last time out. And they just go with the one striker up front. Paris Saint-Germain made one change. In goal, Alphonse Areola. Thiago Silva plays.
Does not actually put up any sort of meaningful fight against established cults like Scientology. It goes after small individuals that adopt alternative lifestyles that are outside the scope.
Perhaps the place where it was impossible to save it.
Take, for example, this
The
statement from
goalkeeper could have reached that. He
2008
clips the
report.
post on the way in.
Yeah, really good strike. He took it early as well, and I think that's what caused Colby off guard as much as anything.
Criteria listed is
And
one or more
that
people
has
start
opened the
to
scoring.
believe in
1-0
certain
here.
ideas which differ from the ideas generally accepted by society. That same report states that in previous reports, Miviludes had insisted on the fact that belief in Satan is not a source of concern. His focus is exclusively on the deviations originating in the ideas and concepts enshrined by the satanic movement.
Working hard
This
just
report
to see
confirms that
maybe a
point.
sight of
What
goal.
sorts of things does Miviludes see as deviant
Attack was
and in need
looking
of state
good.
repression?
Now the
In their
opposition have a
2007
chance.
report, they quote the Court of Appeal of Lyon on Scientology.
Strong play by Paris
Purification
Saint-Germain to win the ball back.
presented as aiming to improve the spiritual and physical condition of a
attacking
person
third.
via sauna sessions and physical exertion, in particular running,
To level it up
dieting,
now.
and taking
Well
vitamins,
saved.
would represent an amalgamation
A corner
of
to
groundless
be defended
affirmations
here
and
by Paris
surreal
Saint-Germain.
hypotheses, and be effective in the context of mental manipulation with possible lethal consequences due to direct or indirect toxic effects. While Scientology is clearly an organization
And
that
here's the
uses
header.
mind control techniques and hypnosis to
shot's
manipulate
on.
its members,
That's a
why
good
do both
block.
the Court of Lyon and
That's how to
Miviludes
tackle.
specify as abnormal behavior in need of state repression one of the few things that Scientology does that is
Really
actually
strong
beneficial?
tackle, and the ball's gone out
According
for a
to
throw.
Miviludes director George Fenech, everything
Good
that is
anticipation
natural
by
can be suspected
the
as a cult.
opposing player there to read the direction
Not
of the
only does
throw.
the French organization Miviludes single out exercise and proper nutrition as dangerous Scientology practices, they have waged a virtual war against those who practice all
Barati.
forms of alternative health in France, including
Julian
individuals
Draxler.
and organizations practicing yoga,
Probing
tai chi,
away, trying to
meditation,
find
those
room
taking
for a shot,
vitamin
maybe.
supplements, and organic farmers.
Trying to-
Even
Cavani!
suspicion of such
Cavani
alternative
comes up with the
lifestyle
goal
choices
again
in France
to add
can lead
another
to the state
to his long
removing
list
children
of
from their
strikes for
homes.
this team.
And as Miviludes continues to shut down
Replay
businesses
confirming
and
for
take
us here
children
that
from
the
their parents for
goalkeeper
exploring
did get a
legitimate
touch,
lifestyle alternatives,
but not strong enough
Scientology is
to
given a
keep the ball
virtually
out of his
free
net.
pass.
Well, he is
In the
his
most
own
recent lawsuit against
harshest critic,
Scientology in France,
this lad,
the law that
could
would have
blame
allowed
himself
for
for that. I
shutting
think
down
having got a
French
touch.
Scientology operations completely was
Restarting
conveniently
at
repealed
2-0.
before it could be applied to Scientology. There is, in fact, a long history of protection of Scientology in France.
The Paris Law Courts. 28 kilometers of corridors, black robes, and fire.
Looking for an opening with some good controlled build-up. Crosses in. Very exciting times for the manager. Real compliment to his ability because he's now got the coaching role of a national team on top of these club duties.
Well, that's all.
Here's a chance.
What
a fine save.
But, as we
Referee's given
found,
a corner.
this protection of Scientology is still only the tip of the iceberg. And it is an iceberg that descends into very dark and troubling waters.
Now across Angel Di Maria.
If French
Down with the
authorities
punch
such as
to clear the
Miviludes
danger.
are the ardent cult fighters they claim to be, why then do they steadfastly refuse to investigate
Through
this?
pass.
A staggering
Defender
number of
to it
claims
first.
of ritual child abuse across France tied to Satanism.
Good strong
Robert is one
tackle.
of many French children who have given testimony on ritual child abuse in France.
Really trying to use the full width of the pitch here to make some progress.
Er sagte, ich habe
And in
etwas
goes the
zu Papa
cross.
geben zu müssen. Ich will nicht mehr zu ihm. Er ist böse. Als ich von Robert das Wort böse hörte, dachte ich erst, sein Vater behandle ihn schlecht. Was ganz schlimm und unglaublich an der Geschichte ist, er erzählte auch von Abenden, an denen sich Erwachsene trafen, die sich verkleiden. Mit Mänteln und mit Masken.
This could be danger. And he's in.
Und
An
was mich an
opportunity.
seinen Worten
Couple of
besonders
chances
schockierte,
now.
der
And it's a
Kleine
goal
sagte,
here.
Papa hat sich
Keeper couldn't get
verkleidet,
down quickly enough
aber
to
ich habe
deal with
sofort
such a
seine
low
Stimme
and
erkannt.
effective shot. Well, he knew exactly where
Und
the
er sprach auch
goalkeeper
von
was
Spiel
going,
auf
and he
auch
just
von
steered
Kindern.
it past him into the bottom corner.
Despite the
Yeah,
hard
he's a
right position
fine
taken by
finisher,
the
this
Blues
boy,
on
and
matters of
never
natural
panics,
health and organic
passes
food,
it
the
into that
response to
corner.
all claims of ritual child
We go
abuse
again,
is to
2-1.
ignore the claims completely.
Trying to switch on the... He's got his shot off now. And he's missed the target by some distance in the end. Quick look at the goal again.
Even in the face of photographic evidence.
Verratti.
Seine Fotos auf den CD-ROMs von Frankfurt wieder. Fotos, auf denen François ihren Sohn eindeutig identifiziert.
When claims of discovery of tunnels used to perform child abuse rituals arise, the French authorities still refuse to raise a
Came
finger
it
to
straight to
investigate.
him, didn't they?
Louis berichtet mir von ungefähr 10 Kinderopfern in nur einem Jahr. Sie sind nach einem Plan, wo sich die Eingänge der Katakomben befinden. Bis heute wird
Moving the opposition around with these two players.
von der Justiz verleugnet.
How frustrating
And
is
the
this for the other
photographic
team
evidence
trying to
that these
get the
tunnels has
touch of the
produced,
ball?
the photos and all related files,
And it's the goalkeeper's
being
ball, quite
lost by
clearly
the police.
a wasted cross.
Mehrmals für die Zaun getorgt. Es gibt da unterirdische Gänge. Ich hatte damals die Gelegenheit, daran Fotos zu machen.
Verratti.
Diese Fotos habe ich in die Hände des stellvertretenden
Lucas.
Leiters der Polizei von Privas gegeben, Moral. Nein, entschuldigen Sie,
Trying to find a way through here, groping away. Crisp defending there. Could score! Oh, what a fine goal! They lead by 2 now. They'll feel a little bit more comfortable, and they're good value for this advantage at the moment.
The goal from Di Maria, and he took a glance up there, you know, and he saw the keeper's positioning. Really good, cool, composed finishing.
Strikingly, children who could not possibly know each
3-1 the
other or
scoreline.
exchange information
Restart
give the
the
same
game.
testimony and identify the same perpetrators.
C'est qu'il y a des lieux qui se croisent, c'est qu'il y a des témoignages qui se croisent, alors que ces jeunes femmes ne se connaissent pas. Elles ont vécu des choses avec des personnages
Working away to try and find an opening.
identiques et surtout des
And in
événements
goes the cross.
incroyables auxquels l'imagination laisse pas voir.
Saw it coming, cut it out, good work. They've coped with it well defensively.
Laisser courir dehors, ils ont essayé d'attraper, enfin des trucs, des horreurs. Et tout ça aurait été fait dans une société
Verratti.
bourgeoise.
Attacking well here.
And perhaps
Made that
here,
look like a
you
poor
can begin
pass
to
with a very good
understand why this
interception.
kind of abuse is protected, while
Well, it could have
Middleton's
got through there,
prosecutes
but the
innocent
defender
people
was
and takes
absolutely
children
on
from
top
their
of his
parents
game.
for living alternative
Well, here comes the
lifestyles
support.
centered around improved physical and mental health.
Warum passiert immer das Gleiche? Warum werden
Looking to play his teammate through.
Verantwortung gezogen?
Pastore!
Jahrelange
What a lovely
Beschäftigung
death
immer
finish
wieder
that was.
mit dieser einen Erklärung. Viele der Täter sind hochgestellte Persönlichkeiten, haben die Macht, sich gegenseitig zu schützen. Und
And
es
here he
fehlt
was,
sehr viel
faced by the
Geld zu
goalkeeper. That was the challenge. In
Warum
you go.
Übergriffe von Kindern,
Easy as you
die
like.
vor laufender
It looks
Kamera
easy, doesn't it? But I can tell you it's not. You have to be at the top of your game to try it and to convert it.
Kosten das Duplikat bis zu 20.000 Euro.
So we restart again.
Something
4-1.
is very wrong with this picture, and it does not stop in France.
Vincent Bessat.
August 1996. 2 missing
Sir.
girls are found alive in Belgium. The only 2
Good challenge
survivors
here.
of the man who had become known
There's going to be a
as the
throw in
Beast of
after that
Belgium,
tackle.
Marc Dutroux.
Good forward
As it
play
turned
from
out,
them.
this was not the first time Dutroux had gone on such a rampage. In 1989,
Just spotted
Dutroux
the ball
had
up and
been
they're
convicted
playing.
of the kidnapping and rape of 5 young girls.
We are absolutely positive that Jetron could have been arrested.
Strong
Information
tackle
comes to
to
light.
break up the play.
In 1989, 6 years before the disappearance of Julie Lejeune and Melissa Rousseau, Dutroux and his wife had been convicted of the abduction and rape of 5 girls. Dutroux was released just 3 years into a
Well, they're in
13-year
good position here.
sentence.
Released
The
by
break
the
is
Belgian
definitely on.
Minister of
The
Justice,
shot's on.
Melchior
Oh, he's kept it
Wassler.
out.
Over the next few
An
months,
opportunity
a
for
series
a
of
side that's
devastating
been struggling
revelations
for much of the
emerged about
game.
Dutroux's past
But they've
and his
shown
relationship
a
to the
little bit of
country's
guts there
authorities.
to try and get in and make some
Due to
inroads
his
into this
previous
deficit.
conviction,
Yeah,
Dutroux was a
every
natural
manager will want.
suspect with
His
more
team
recent
have
cases
not
of
laid
sex
down
missing
and not
girls,
given up.
and was subject to police investigation. But curiously, the Belgian police did everything they could to ignore evidence that Dutroux might be
Verratti.
guilty, including
Crisp
refusing
defending there.
to watch a confiscated videotape of Dutroux building a dungeon used to keep the girls
The
he abducted.
referee has given the free
From his
kick.
release in 1992, warning signs were flashing. a police informant claimed he was asked by Dutroux to help him kidnap a girl. Dutroux's own mother even tipped off police that her son may be hiding girls
An
in his
opposing
home.
defender probably... Half-time. It's time
A
for some
camera
fresh
was hidden
legs
in a
here.
railway wagon in front of his house in Massillon.
Well, we wait to see what the second half brings. The first half was conclusive, but you don't win the game at half-time.
The problem was that Dutroux chose to do this kidnapping.
Probing away, trying to find room for a shot maybe. Defending strongly there,
Afterwards they told us
making
that
sure the
for
cross didn't get into the
operational
danger
reasons,
area.
This camera has only been turning from 8 o'clock in the morning until
Supporting player
6 o'clock
alongside.
in the evening. Something. This is very intelligent.
Cross
If you
is
want
in.
to catch someone, a pedophile kidnapping girls.
The officer
Julian
in charge
Draxler.
of Operation Othello, René Michaud, visited the house in December 1995. Dutroux had recently been questioned about stolen cars,
Read the play well
and
to
the
intercept.
investigators used this as an opportune moment to search his house. Also present was a locksmith, Alain Lejeune, who was accompanying the police in their search.
Now they've got a chance in this part of the pitch.
Suddenly,
And here's the
children's
shot.
voices are
Good
heard.
work by the goalkeeper.
It was these voices and this discussion starts. Did you hear that?
Non, ce sont les enfants de joueurs.
A new face at Paris Saint-Germain. Here he is.
Non.
Well, 35 million or thereabouts isn't a small figure, but loads of potential with this lad.
Di Maria! I don't think he was quite sure where the goal was as he took the shot
I
on.
heard voices and it was absolutely clear that they came from there,
We've
from
got coming up for you.
2 meters from where we were standing.
The voices are Melissa Russo and Julie Lejeune. 3 months later, they were dead.
Do not forget that this Julie and Melissa disappearance was the top story in Belgium. It was the top priority of police, at least that's what they told us.
Michaud found video cassettes during his search.
They didn't watch the tapes. The explanation afterwards that they didn't have a video player. On one of these tapes, we can see Marc Dutroux constructing his cage. The explanation of where it was and how it was constructed was on tape.
As far as this competition is concerned, the Ligue 1 fixture, Caen, they'll be facing Angers away from home.
Well, we have seen some good games down the years between these two sides. I hope it's going to be the same this time.
Here's
And at the same time,
Marquinhos.
according to the highly regarded French children's
Crichovia.
advocate Marie-France Potet, the Belgian Ministry of Justice
Cavani.
withheld a politically sensitive list of customers of pedophile videotapes. An eventual
Angel Di
parliamentary
Maria.
inquiry into the Dutroux case produced a list of 30 Belgian officials guilty of negligence and corruption. Amongst those on the list was
Trying to
Justice
find an
Minister
opening.
Wathelet.
Not panicking.
Wathelet was once again
That
promoted.
attack was looking
this time
good.
to the
Now the
European
opposition have a
Court of
chance.
Justice. The fact that the Belgian government had clearly
The
worked to
game
protect
can be influenced so
Dutroux
often by
sparked
substitutes.
what
The home team
Wikipedia
are
euphemistically
going to
refers
have to
as
gamble on that
a
working for
number
them
of
now.
shortcomings in the Dutroux investigation that caused
Upcoming for
widespread
you on
discontent
EA
in Belgium
Sports,
with the country's
we
criminal
have
justice system.
Ligue
In
1
fact,
action
the
for the
revelations
away
of
side.
government
It's their next
complicity
game,
in
incidentally.
Dutroux's pedophile network nearly sparked a
Edinson
full-scale
Cavani.
revolution. Again and again, we find the same story.
Well, they're
The
building
same
steadily
pattern
here,
of
working
protection of
away.
those committing unimaginable
Angel
abuse,
Di Maria.
refusal
Some
of
potential in
police
this
to
move.
investigate, and harassment of those who attempt to expose the abuse.
Well, he's got support here.
What is the purpose of organizations like Miviludes if they allow this kind of
Gregor
abuse to
Crichovia.
continue in the face of overwhelming
pass,
evidence that
getting
it
it forward.
exists?
D'autant qu'à chaque fois, il apporte des preuves. Il révèle une
They'll need to try and
réalité
get the ball back
effrayante.
now.
Des gens qui travaillent à la réalisation d'un catalogue d'enfants en lien avec des studios de photographie spécialisés dans la pornographie. Derrière les
Deflected out
disparitions
for a
d'enfants se
throw.
profile la réalité d'un réseau et d'étranges protections et la commercialisation d'images de viol d'enfants.
Regina Louf is a survivor of the pedophilia ring that Marc Dutroux was a part of, and one of the few who was willing to testify and who lived to do so.
In 1996, this woman came forward to tell the Belgian authorities she'd spent her childhood years as the victim of a pedophile network. She described a world of organised sexual abuse, torture and even murder.
Her testimony showed that she knew details of unsolved murders that would not have been possible without access to police files.
In one of her testimonies, she explained how a certain person had been murdered in a certain place.
I remember it like it's a film in my head. I can close my eyes and see every little detail of that house she was in.
Angel Di Maria. Onto the attack
Here
now.
are some details that made
There's
us
the
think
interception.
to give without
They
having
passed
been
their way
in
up
place,
into
or
a
without
good position here. They've just lost the concentration, lost the ball as well. Have to work hard to try and get it back.
All of her testimony checked out. She was even able to describe the inside of the house in which a ritual murder had taken place. A strangely designed house, the details of which she could not possibly know unless she had been there.
The credibility of Regina's testimony hinged partly on whether she really knew the house where Christine Van Hees was killed. This man grew up there, though his family sold it before the murder. It was two houses locked into one, with a unique passage of stairs and corridors. No one, he says, could describe it unless they'd been there.
He did want that pass earlier.
There was the corridor here between the two houses. And she
This is
drew
an
a picture of
exercise
the
in
doors
patience
inside.
as they try to get an
They were
opening.
antique doors, and she drew them open. She described the wallpaper and the front step.
Good through
I don't know how
pass.
she could have described it all so faithfully, if she'd never entered the house.
The response of Belgian authorities? The investigators were removed from the case.
But then, out of the blue, the investigation
Julian
was stopped.
Draxler. It's looking good, this move. Great chance. Super goal.
It's so hard to counter, Martin.
The Belgian
That
government,
two-touch
with the
stuff.
full complicity of the
The
media,
understanding between
declared
these
Regina
two.
Louf a
The
liar.
opposition couldn't get near.
Well, there is a big difference between these two teams, and that goal has meant it's reflected in the scoreline.
I think it's going to be a stroll from here on in because they've got a big cushion.
Sinister and
Rightly
deranged
so,
liar.
well in the lead.
Regina Louf, I think Regina Louf is a
5-1 the
pathological
score.
liar.
On we go.
She's a woman who's invented scenarios that
Nothing
don't stand
so
up to
far in
scrutiny.
this game
It's all
to
been shown
surprise
to
us.
fiction.
Perhaps
That was no
only
surprise.
the
Regina
margin that
Louf's
they lead
testimony
by.
went far
It's not
beyond
always
what
easy
anyone
coming
could
into a
imagine.
game and everyone's
Sexual
expecting you to get a
torture and
hatful,
abuse
but
that
they've
can only be
kept their
described as
focus this
unborn.
side and
Conducted at
taken the
factory of
chances
Belgian arms
nicely when they've dropped
manufacturer
up.
Asco.
Now here's a chance of winning the ball.
Factory
Shots
of
on
video
here.
recordings,
Good work
and
by the
gave names
goalkeeper.
of those taking part in the videotaped torture and murder of children there. Among those named was Belgian Justice Minister Melchior Wathelet, the man responsible for the early
comes the
release from
challenge.
prison of Marc Dutroux, and the man who would go on
We could
to
get
support
some
the
news on the
creation
injury. I
of
think
an
Jeff
anti-drug
Shreves is on
task
the case.
force like
Physio's
Middle
up on the
East and
touchline, keeping an eye on him.
The
He
pattern
went over on his
continues,
ankle.
and
Looks
still
like
the
he's going to be
perpetrators
okay.
are protected by
Shreves just
government
keeping us
authorities.
right up to
I
date
think
there.
this is one of the most important court
we have
cases for
9
children in the
remaining
country. Basically, a decision was made in a court that
Angel
Holly
Di
Gray
Maria
was not
could be
competent.
dangerous.
This is after the police originally said that she was competent.
Shots
And
on.
that was
The
recorded in
defenders managed
writing.
to get in
A
the way there.
reliable, competent witness.
It's a good ball,
was
it could be
judged.
in. What a
They
fine save.
competent. The judge had
Still
no
on the attack,
medical
and
or
they've got a
expert
corner.
opinion to rely on, and she was not qualified herself.
Because she has Down syndrome, they're saying that she's not competent, even though she was competent.
Well, they're not using any evidence. They're making an arbitrary decision, and of course why they want that decision is they want to undermine her as a credible witness in the horrific child abuse, rape and sexual assault that she suffered.
And who were the perpetrators?
Well, we know the
Silva.
perpetrators
Now
were
the
members
shot.
of the Scottish
Shot gets
legal
blocked.
establishment. They
It's
included
deflected
sheriffs,
behind.
police,
It will be a
social
corner.
services people. But the key bit is this is the state blatantly attempting to silence this little girl, well, young lady now, by taking her away from her mother.
Thiago
Even more
Silva.
child abuse is discovered, this time on the tax haven island of Jersey, between England and France.
Panorama now, BBC
That's
One
great
reporting on
defending there,
recent
stopping that
allegations of
attack.
child abuse in Jersey.
For the first time, we report from inside Haute de la Garenne as Jersey's children's homes begin to give up their secrets.
Allegations of child abuse that were related to a wider
Attacking now.
pedophile network.
Back in Jersey, we joined the team now tracing a web of
Good
information
play,
connected
but they've
with
lost the ball
with a
now.
number of other children's
The
homes.
opposition can get at
From
them.
the 50s to the 90s, young people passed from institution to
Bessat.
institution,
Intercepted
and in some
well.
cases, the staff they feared moved too.
Allegations that will be met with the same predictable response.
We'll speak to two politicians from the island now. One of them is Senator
Julian
Stuart
Draxler.
Gray, and he's the former health minister who says he was sacked for blowing the whistle on all this.
And back in the U.S., the pattern is the same. One such pedophile network in the U.S. centered around
Bessat.
Nebraska Republican Party leader and general
And the
manager
referee
of
says
Omaha's
that's enough.
Franklin Bethel
Paris
Party
Saint-Germain have
leader,
won it.
Lawrence.
I think it's fair to say that this game has gone to form, and the better team on paper has been the better team on the pitch.
That's right, and I think they showed that feeling of superiority, if you like, at the start and right through this match.